Alright, hello everybody. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a very brief meme card review for the upcoming Ashes of Outland expansion. So I'm only going to pick a couple of cards per class to talk about because frankly most of the cards are boring. So let's get right into it. So the first card up I want to talk about is Khan Sun Fury, which I actually don't even think is a very good combo card, because most of the time you just use Wolf Rider instead. But this card is very exciting to me because it has the word charge on it, and Blizzard hasn't printed a charge minion for a very long time, so I'm cautiously optimistic that more charge minions will be on the way in the future. The other Demon Hunter card I'm excited for is definitely Inner Demon. I think with Sunstrider and a couple of the other cheaper hero buff spells, we can definitely make an OTK out of this one. So next up is Druid, and Druid got some very interesting combo cards. The first being the 4-mana spell Germination, which is essentially a 1-mana discount on Face of Manipulator, but it also has the advantage of being a spell that we can combo with Sunstrider or the new Druid Legendary, as seen here. Unfortunately for Germination right now, I don't think there's that many impressive targets to use it on, other than Malagos, so hopefully more is on the way. So the other card I'll highlight for Druid is Imprisoned Satyr, which is basically a Dream Petal Florist light, but mana reductions are always welcome for combos. So next up is Hunter, and first we're going to talk about Augmented Porcupine, which is kind of like a reverse Dispatch Kodo. I think in Standard it's going to be very difficult to OTK with this card, but in Wild there's a lot of potential with Umbra, Baron, Feign Death, Play Dead, and Don Honcho specifically. So I think there's definitely a combo in Wild for this card. Alright, next up for Hunter is Beastmaster, which is an interesting combo card, but at the same time kind of boring. Since we still have access to Scarlet Webweaver, Hunting Party, and Wild Tamer, we can basically already do this effect without this card. So, interesting, but boring. The last card I'll talk about for Hunter is Zixor. There's definitely a Tundra Rhino Zixor Prime hand buff combo waiting to happen. Alright, next up is Mage. And Mage didn't get a whole lot of combo cards, but this card, Incanter's Flow, has a lot of potential. Unfortunately for Mage right now, I feel like their burn cards are at an all-time low, so hopefully more are along the way. The only other card worth mentioning for Mage is Solarian Prime, which is basically a Yogg-Saron Light. I don't think there's much OTK potential for this card, except for maybe with Bran Bronzebeard and Wild, but it's a fun meme card nonetheless. Alright, next up is Paladin. And as you probably noticed, I haven't selected a card, and that's because Paladin didn't get any combo cards. Now that's not all true. I do think this card specifically has a nice application for a wild combo, but I don't really want to spoil that one right now, so be on the lookout for that one in the future. Alright, next up is Priest, and the only card worth mentioning for Priest is this 5-mana spell, Psych Split, which is basically a spell form of Face Manipulator. Unfortunately, with this rotation, we're losing the card Vivid Nightmare, so I guess for now we're going to have to use this more expensive version. Alright, next up is Rogue, and the only card worth mentioning for Rogue is Akama Prime, the permanently stealth minion. And I think we can definitely make some pretty cool 2-turn kills out of that card. And that's unfortunately the only combo card that Rogue really got. So, oh well. Alright, next up is Shaman, and first up we have Vivid Spores, which is basically a mass ancestral spirit. I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of OTK potential for this card right now, but I think as more cards get printed, this card will get better and better. Speaking of getting better over time, I would say Vosh Prime also falls into that category. I would say right now you can use it for Malagos combos, or maybe you can even get the new card Vivid Spores for 1 mana. So be on the lookout for Vosh Prime in the future. Alright, next up is Warlock, and I think this card potentially may be the most interesting combo card of the set, but I'm still not exactly sure how to use it in practice, so if you have any cool ideas for Dark Glare in the comments, let me know. The other card for Warlock I'll highlight is the Dark Portal, which I think works the best in a Geppetto Joybuzz style deck where you're running very few minions, so you know where the mana reduction is going to occur. Alright, and a last class warrior has basically no combo cards, so oh well. Alright, moving on to the neutral cards, and I'm actually very excited about this one in particular, because this card has a very specific application in Wild, in that it will replace Wrathguard in all Treachery Warlock decks. And that's mostly because Wrathguard is a demon itself, which means you can't play Voidcaller in Treachery Warlock. But because this has no tribal tag, you can use your Voidcaller to pull out your Mal'Ganis or your Voidlord in those Treachery Warlock style decks, which is a huge benefit. Next up, we have Maiev Shadowsong, which is arguably the strongest card in the set. I think most people are thinking about using this card as basically a double freeze for your opponent's minions, but I'm more thinking about using it on my own minions so my opponent can't kill them. So, very cool combo card and very strong card overall. Next up, we have Sunstrider, which we all know is amazing. I won't really talk about it anymore. And lastly, we have Tyrande Gorefiend, which has great application with Death Rattle minions and Charger, so there's definitely some great OTK potential here. I would also like to give a shout out to the absolute worst card of the set, Alor. I know I'm going to open this on day one and I'm going to be really upset, so thanks a lot, Blizzard. So that's it for the review, guys. I would say overall, in terms of combo cards, I'm slightly disappointed in terms of quantity and quality, but we'll just have to make do with what we have. I am excited to try out Demon Hunter, as I'm sure most of you are as well, so look forward to that tomorrow, and thanks so much for watching.